What up? What up? It's your boy Kell. It's your boy Danny.
Suffering cigar.
We think we know football. You know what?
Cigar here.
Suffering cigar. Suffering cigar. You know, we think when we say we think we know football, I'm starting to think we actually do know football to a degree now because unfortunately I did say, hey, I want a Bills Commanders Super Bowl, but we're probably gonna get an Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl.
It almost sounds like we know what
my dumbass was right.
Almost.
It almost sounds like we kind of know what we're talking about. Yeah, I know. I kind of dig it. Looks like we're making money. Looks like we're making progress. So we don't like complete idiots. We kind of know what we're talking about. So we think we know football. We're gonna break down what we saw, what we've gone through these past 24 hours. How we feel going into. But on the 9th, how it's gonna be, how salty it's gonna be. Let's start with the Eagles absolutely demolishing the Commanders. Danny, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it seemed like the Eagles were in it for a while, but it's kind of exactly what we said. They weren't able to bottle up Saquon. Jalen had a little bit of more mobility than we thought he was going to have, but man, they really just ran away with it.
Right.
Ran away with it at the end there, and a couple of mishaps early, right, with the couple of turnovers and stuff like that. But you got to give it to the Eagles. Putting up 55 points in a championship game. Wow.
No, yeah, and I can agree with you there, dude. I mean, absolute utter domination by the Eagles. I mean, I know I talk a lot of trash about the Eagles. You know that I dislike the Eagles, and unfortunately, the NFL is going to make me have to root for the Eagles on the 9th. But like, I'll tell you what, props to them. Props to Saquon Barkley. I want to talk about something real quick. Now, Tom Brady mentioned something, and it really resonated with me. He said that, Saquon Barkley is going to be a future Hall of Famer. This wasn't more apparent than it was this game, in my opinion. I think Saquon proved that he is a Hall of Famer, that he is a, first ballot Hall of Famer than he has in this game. That dude popped off this game. This season, he absolutely demolished his division, demolished the league, and he showed, like I say a lot, it's not the player, it's the team. And I'll tell you what, the Giants owner is going to have a hard time sleeping. I'd be very surprised if he tuned into the Super Bowl on the 9th. Let me know what you think about that, dude, because I'll tell you what, that's a tough pill to swallow, buddy.
Yeah, it was just kind of apparent from the beginning that the Eagles kind of outclassed the Commanders. I almost wanted to say the other word, Washington. But anyways,
Uh-oh.
they really outclassed them on talent. Just especially on the offensive side. We knew the Eagles had a lot of talent, but yeah, the Washington just couldn't keep up no matter how hard they tried. Jaden Daniels, for as far as he gone and for as far as he took this team, there was no beating the Eagles today.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. And they were just a powerhouse. And, we talk a lot about momentum. The Eagles had that momentum, dude. They were balling, dude. They were driving. And, the fans, they kicked ass. I mean, the fans are, well, in my opinion, they're the worst fans in the NFL. I think that they're super rowdy. They're super obnoxious. But, they have their way of getting behind their team. And I'll tell you what, they got behind their team. Their team was loud and their team was rowdy. Now, to that degree, going back on what you said, Jalen Hurts, he was favoring that knee at the end of their last game prior to this one. Now, but what you said, I can 100% agree with you. He showed like it didn't seem like it bothered him at all. Dropping back in the pocket, he still seemed very comfortable, and he still seemed very, very mobile. In my opinion, he was still moving out of the pocket. He was still running the ball, and I think that is really, really what kind of was a real difference maker in that, was that he was still able to be that run threat. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mostly listened into the game and I caught a few highlights, but from what I listened to and saw, um, it really seemed like a lot of the media this week, including us, were very speculative of how he was going to be able to perform with this injury. A knee injury is pretty significant, and yeah,
Right, right.
he didn't seem very affected by it. He seemed locked in, and although my worst nightmares have come to fruition with the Eagles into Super Bowl, um, it
Yeah.
still feels like I'm hoping the Eagles can redeem themselves from the last Super Bowl. And they have so much talent. It's going to be quite a matchup we have coming up soon. Um, but
Yeah.
shout out to Hurts, shout out to Saquon. AJ Brown had quite a game as well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like he got the attention that, we know he really, really wants and that he really deserves. Um, but I'll tell you what, dude. I mean, like in that last podcast when we were talking about how the Commanders could beat the Eagles, because that was going to be a tough task for them. I said, hey, Dan Quinn knows the Eagles relatively well. He's been in their division for a long time. He knows that Saquon, if they're able to, because they did beat them at one point. Um, and he knows that if he's able to isolate Saquon, if he's able to stop that run game, they'll be able to do it. But props to the Eagles for mixing it up, dude. They really mixed it up. I feel like in recent games, like the game before this, they were very, very run heavy, and I feel like that's why they didn't put up the points that they put up at this game. I feel like this game they mixed it up so well. They went air, they went ground, and like it was just such a perfect mix to where the Commanders just weren't able to keep up with it. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
That would be and to be honest, it'd be hard for anybody to stop such a prevalent offense. You know, you want to respect Saquon, but you got to respect AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. If there's any defense that's probably going to be able to do it, it's probably going to be the Chiefs. To be honest, with the way they've shown out in the playoffs, like they do every year. But yeah, man,
Spagnola, man,
yeah, just
yeah,
the way they mix it up. But yeah, just and you know this, when you got to respect the run so much as a defensive player and respect the deep ball, and you got to watch out for Jalen Hurts taking off out on the sideline. Man, that's a hard offense to stop.
no, yeah, most definitely, dude. Um, let's talk about that. I mean, in an offense heavy league. Well, I mean, and let's be honest about it. Bill Belichick has talked about it. Eli, you know, Peyton, they've talked about how this is an offense league. The NFL is an offense favoring league, and it always will be. That's why you get the calls. That's why you get those 15-yard calls. That's why Patrick Mahomes wears that number 15 because it represents each yard that he gets every single time that he gets that roughing the passer. That's why
Flag.
he gets that unnecessary roughness call. Flag. But let's talk about defense. Eagles defense, it's good. They got Bond. He was, and he's a candidate for defensive player of the year. Um, However, you got Steve Spagnuolo, damn good defensive coordinator. I think that we got two defenses that are actually going to be relatively well going into the Super Bowl. Now, as far as the Kansas City Chiefs performance against the Bills, oh gosh, this is gonna be so tough to talk about. I really, really wanted the Bills to win this game, and I hate having to praise the Chiefs. But talking about Steve Spagnuolo going into this, and about how he's looking at head coaching jobs. Um, I think Steve Spagnuolo really lived up to his name this game. Your thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. Um, Especially when it came down to the end there, when the Bills had so much momentum, they tied the game up. The Chiefs were able to get the little field goal to get the lead there, and Spagnuolo just starts dropping safeties into blitzes, and it looked like he confused the Bills' offense in a lot of ways there. And um, respect to the Chiefs' offense, they do what they have to do, but the defense is really always seems to close out these games for them. And do you think that I don't know if he wants to be a head coach. Do you think that if these coaching candidacies went on a little longer, do you think he might have been one of these head coaches that the teams would have applied for rather than, you know? um, Mr. Oppenheimer, or these other guys.
Oppenheimer,
Yeah,
Schottenheimer.
whatever his name is. Um,
I'll tell you what, I'd rather have him as my head coach than
Spagnolo
Oppenheimer,
would be
bro.
a hell of a head coach, I think, but I feel like he's comfortable where he wants to be. But still, what a great defense he puts. Just a great defensive game and calls and game plans. There's nothing more I can say about that.
Right. And I mean, like, this does reflect back on what we were talking about like legacy and, getting paid. You know, does he want to get paid or does he want legacy? And I feel like right now he is establishing his name as a Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator. And he should be proud about that because right now there's not many defenses where you could say that's a powerhouse defense. That's a damn good defense. Dan Quinn did that in Dallas. When Dan Quinn was the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, they were a powerhouse. They were badass. You had Stephon Diggs, who's absolutely tearing it up. You had Micah Parsons, absolutely tearing it up. Now, after he left, obvious decline with the Dallas Cowboys defense. However, I think that Steve Spagnuolo has made it so that his name is forever going to be etched in Kansas City history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive coordinator of all time, as
Uh,
far as
yeah,
Kansas
I
City Chiefs
saw,
franchise go.
and not even just as a Kansas City Chief. I saw a stat that he may have somewhere along the lines of some of the most wins as just a coordinator in the playoffs. Like he's up there just as a coordinator. He's the whole Kansas City
Yeah.
staff is probably up there with the amount that they win. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like Josh McDaniels with the Patriots. He never got recognition as a coach, but everybody knows he's probably one of the best offensive coordinators to ever do it. And Spagnuolo is definitely in a conversation.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, you know, I think he's a great a great coach. This is something, props to him. I personally hope he stays a defensive coordinator because what I don't want him to become a head coach somewhere and him to absolutely drop the ball and him get blamed for their failures. That's what I hate happens. I hated seeing Josh McDaniels go to the Broncos. I hated seeing him go to the Raiders and absolutely fail because I had a soft spot for him being a Patriot, But speaking of the Chiefs, let's talk about something that I always talk about when we talk about the Chiefs. Let's talk about some questionable calls. Um, one that stuck out to me big time was, there were two main ones. There was that face mask. That wasn't a face mask. The guy touched his face mask, and never grabbed it. This was in I think the second quarter. Um, but I think the most pivotal one, and I think that this is something that you can kind of look back on being a cornerback, because you did play cornerback. Um, Now, looking back at this, I do want your outlook on it. Now, Xavier Worthy going up for that catch, it looked, in my opinion, that was an intersection, but it also looked like it hit the ground. I don't know if you saw that. What were your thoughts on that play?
Don't know exactly which play you're talking about. Is this near the end with the Xavier Worthy drop?
No, they went up at the same time. I'll break it down a little bit. They went up at the same time, and the Bills cornerback caught it. At least that's what it seemed to me. Now, when they went down, it looked as though, when they went down, that the Bills guy caught it. However, it did look like it touched the ground as well. Now, the way that the refs played it was that, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, get the ball. There was also a call earlier that, Patrick Mahomes, he fell back in the backfield, fumbled the ball. They called offsides. I don't know how offsides he was. These were just little plays that kind of, snuck in there. Now the biggest one, let's talk about, because I know you saw this, and I know that you were really, really pissed off about this one. I was really pissed off about this one. And like I said, that the Chiefs are going to turn me into alcoholic again. They're going to expose my alcoholism. But what drove me
This is
up
just
the
tea, by the way.
wall,
This is
dude,
this is
was
only tea.
that was only tea. All right, yeah. And this is only water. Um, but yeah, so what drove me off the wall was that fourth down conversion. He made it. Like, I mean, I always say it. It's a podcast. It's a We Think We're Football podcast. So I have to say it. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. That was a first down. Danny, was that not a first down?
Okay, so like looking at it like really closely, even like with the replay, um you saw the slow-mo of him and he was clearly past the spot. Um and they took a while to review this. They went to commercial break, they came back and they're still spotting the ball. And to me, I I just saw the the line to gain, and I saw the ball, and I saw the ball past the line to gain, and I couldn't fathom the fact that they would
Right.
do this. And then, like, to me, I would have even challenged that if I could. But man, what an unfortunate series of events for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. Yeah, I mean,
it was
and you
such a
got one ref
momentum.
running in
Yeah,
from one side of the field. Yeah, and the other one is coming in from the opposite side.
two
One is
different
past the line.
spots.
The other one is behind the line. You know, but like that's a clusterfuck in my opinion, dude. It's a mess. It screwed everything up. It screwed like kind of momentum up. Now, there were things where I was like, oh, that's just a little thing that it's kind of boosting them. And even my mom was talking to me, and she was like, this is obviously rigged. My girlfriend's at work right now. She's working in the emergency room, and she's like, "Oh, this is bullshit. This is rigged. I'm listening to it."
Yeah, my
She's like, "There's no way that's happening."
my girl is
So
not a big football fan either, and but she saw it too, and she was like that. She doesn't know football very well,
how
but
much they paying him?
she's like, isn't that supposed to be a first down? Didn't he not pass the line? And I was like, yeah, he
Yeah,
looks like he
didn't he
obviously
pass that
passed.
imaginary line?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
Honestly, though,
it
dude.
really,
Honestly.
it's okay, like we mentioned in the podcast before. There's gonna be a call or two. We knew that this was gonna happen, um, but even at that point, Josh Allen was able to go down again and tie the game up, and
Yeah.
Chiefs were able to get that field goal at the end. They made a good few offensive plays, and the Bills just got to um, overwhelmed by the Chiefs defense in that last series, and that's what really came the game came down to. I'm not sure if it should have came down to that, but that is what it came down to.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. It did. It came down to their defense, and if we're being honest here, Kansas City has a way better defense than Buffalo. Buffalo doesn't have that great of a defense. They really don't. In terms of the two, in terms of the playoffs. Now, what's gonna suck is this is gonna reflect on Josh Allen. Josh Allen's performance. He didn't have a bad performance. What we should really look at is that drop. That drop at the
Oh
end.
yeah,
He
yeah,
threw it. That
yeah.
Dalton Schultz should have caught that ball, dude.
Pressure,
That wasn't
pressure.
a bad throw.
Yeah, pressure in Josh Allen's face. He's dropping back. He's falling backwards. He makes the throw. He hits the guy
Right.
open right beyond the first down and just right through his hands. I kind of had a feeling that it would have to be some kind of Herculean effort from Josh Allen, and he didn't disappoint. He showed that he is a
No.
very good quarterback. He almost did everything he needed to win this game, except for winning the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, no. Most definitely. I'm always gonna like Josh Allen, but one thing that I did say, and you know what, this is something I'm gonna ask you, and this is something I'm gonna ask everyone that's watching now, guys, and of course, and Danny, you're listening. Um, Guys, do you think that the Bills are a regular season team? Do you think they're a playoff team? Do you think that they're going to be one of these teams like the Ravens, where they're just killer in the playoffs or they're killer in the regular season, then come playoff time they just joke? What do you think?
No, I think that the Bills played absolutely tremendous during this playoffs. Even in this last playoff game we just watched, maybe it's not the whole team. Maybe it's just Josh Allen against the world. It seems like that sometimes, but there's just this Goliath of a monster on the other side, that is known as the Kansas City Chiefs. That every year, he just can't get past them, unfortunately. It really felt like it should have been their year this year, and I'm looking forward to them next year again. But it, if I would have to agree with you, um, the Buffalo Bills have always been a regular season team. They
Yeah.
never really gotten there. A lot of people thought they would get there this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
They tend to just charger it at the end of every playoff season, even when they're in it, unfortunately.
Don't
And
tell Ben. Yeah.
yeah, don't tell Ben that. And
Don't tell Ben.
it's gonna be the Swifties and the Kermits again in the playoffs versus my
Yes.
Eagles, my
The
Eagles,
obnoxious
my
ass.
my Eagles.
Oh, your Eagles
Yeah,
now?
another my Eagles.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, just let's wrap this one up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry this had to happen to us as NFL fans. We tried. We tried. We all got together. We all united. But, Thanos won.
Yeah, Thanos
won.
got
He
this
snapped his
round.
fingers.
He got this round, but there's always
He's
that.
inevitable. He's inevitable.
Yeah, there's always that.
Yeah.
Let's just time jump. Let's get back into the next year.
I know. So I never thought I would say this, and this is a one-time thing. Don't ever think I'm going to do this again. You know what? I guess I'm going to be an Eagles fan for the Super Bowl. So, I mean, hey, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, I'm going to be saying "Fly Eagles Fly" because there's no way I could see a three-peat. I do not want a three-peat.
Okay, so if Josh Allen,
So anyway,
if Josh Allen is Captain America, who's Jalen Hurts?
Deadpool.
Okay, well, so
Deadpool.
Jesus,
Because you're just like, oh my god, it's just like, shut up, dude. Like, come on, just hurry up, be the good guy at the end of the movie, and let's all go freaking
so
party at
Marvel
wherever
Jesus,
the hell we-
Marvel Jesus is coming to save
Marvel
us.
Jesus,
in
yes.
a couple weeks.
Marvel Jesus is gonna come save us. He so is. But okay, guys, I am sorry that we had to deal with that. I am sorry we have to watch that. I'm sorry we're gonna have to watch the Super Bowl that we did. Fortunately, I called it. I wish I didn't have to call it. Right? I wish I was wrong. Check it out. Check out our Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. As always, we're gonna be still releasing shorts. Follow us on Instagram. Check us out. We're still growing. We're still doing good. We're still going strong. We're going to keep it up. Check it out this week. We're going to go ahead and we're going to post a predictions video on who we intend or who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. So check out our predictions if you're interested in that.
NFL honors. We got a lot coming for you guys.
NFL honor. We got a lot coming for you guys. A lot of content dropping. A lot of new stuff too. We got some upcoming surprises, upcoming news, and stay tuned, guys. I appreciate all the support, all the love and support. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Spotify, follow us on TikTok. So much more to come. God bless. Keep the faith. Y'all stay safe. Keep the faith.